Feudal Japan was a land of constant conflict, where powerful warlords, daimyo, fought for supremacy. The country was a patchwork of territories, each ruled by its own lord, and unity was a distant dream. Amid this chaos, the samurai emerged, not just soldiers but a noble class bound by duty and honor. Their lives revolved around martial skill, strategy, and a fearless spirit. Samurai became the era's symbol, embodying both the brutality of war and the ideals of discipline. Castles rose as fortresses and symbols of power, surrounded by towns that thrived under the samurai's protection. Yet beauty and violence coexisted. Peaceful gardens could be shattered by the call to arms at any moment. This duality defined the age, a culture of refinement and relentless warfare. The samurai's journey shaped Japan for centuries, forging a society where courage and loyalty were supreme. To understand the samurai is to glimpse the soul of feudal Japan, a world where the sword was law and honor was life. Their legacy still echoes, painting a vivid picture of a world both brutal and beautiful. The samurai's roots stretch back to the Heian period, when imperial power faded in distant provinces. Landowners hired skilled warriors to protect their estates, forming private armies loyal to local lords, not the emperor. Over time, these warriors gained power, culminating in the Genpei War between the Taira and Minamoto clans. Minamoto no Yoritomo's victory led to the creation of the shogunate, a military government with the shogun as supreme commander. The samurai became Japan's ruling elite, their status formalized at the top of the social hierarchy. Their lives were defined by constant training in archery, swordsmanship, and discipline from a young age. The shogunate established a rigid structure: shogun at the top, daimyo ruling regions, and samurai serving as their loyal retainers. The emperor remained a figurehead, while real power rested with the shogun and his warriors. This new order shaped Japan's destiny for centuries, with the samurai as its backbone. Their rise marked the true beginning of feudal Japan. The samurai's code and structure would define the nation's future. Their legacy endures as the architects of Japan's warrior society. The bond between samurai and daimyo was the heart of feudal Japan. Samurai pledged absolute loyalty, offering their lives and swords in service. In return, daimyo provided stipends, measured in rice, to support their retainers and families. On the battlefield, a samurai's courage and skill reflected his honor and devotion. Acts of bravery could earn rewards and elevate a samurai's status within the clan. Off the battlefield, samurai served as advisors, administrators, and magistrates, governing the domain and maintaining order. Education and intelligence were as vital as martial prowess. The samurai's duty was deeply personal, protecting their lord, even at the cost of their own lives. Some would even follow their lord in death, demonstrating the depth of their loyalty. This unwavering service defined their identity and place in the world. The samurai were more than warriors. They were the instruments of their lord's rule. Their loyalty was the glue that held the feudal system together. For a samurai, service was not a job, it was their very reason for being. Feudal Japan was a fractured land with powerful clans vying for dominance. Each daimyo ruled his own territory, often acting as an independent warlord. The shogun's authority was limited, leading to near-constant warfare, especially during the Sengoku Jidai, the age of warring states. Clans fought for land and resources, forging and breaking alliances in pursuit of power. Only the strongest and most cunning survived, with legendary figures like Oda Nobunaga and Takeda Shingen rising to prominence. Warfare drove innovation in military tactics and castle construction. The chaos allowed men of humble birth, like Toyotomi Hideyoshi, to rise to power. These clans were more than armies. They were extended families, bound by loyalty and ambition. The era's violence transformed Japan, forging a nation through conflict. The legacy of these rival clans shaped the country's future. At the core of the samurai was Bushido, the way of the warrior. This unwritten code blended Zen, Shinto, and Confucian ideals, guiding samurai in war and peace. Courage was paramount. A samurai faced death with calm resolve. Integrity and justice demanded honesty and fairness, even in adversity. Compassion urged mercy toward the weak, making the samurai both protector and enforcer. Respect shaped every interaction from bowing to the rituals of daily life. Sincerity and self-control were essential. Actions had to be genuine, emotions mastered. Bushido forged warriors who were disciplined, honorable, and dedicated to self-improvement. The code balanced violence with virtue, creating a unique moral ideal. Samurai lived and died by these principles, striving to embody the perfect warrior. Bushido's legacy endures as a model of discipline and honor. Loyalty, chugi, was the foundation of the samurai's world. A samurai's devotion to his daimyo was absolute, often surpassing even family ties. Disobedience or betrayal was the gravest dishonor. Legendary tales, like the 47 Ronin, celebrated this unwavering loyalty. Such devotion forged armies united by trust and purpose, making them formidable in battle. Loyalty bound the clan together, its strength rooted in shared duty. Yet, this code demanded obedience even to flawed or unjust lords, sometimes leading to tragedy. The samurai's path was narrow. Service came before personal judgment. This rigid loyalty ensured stability but could also demand great personal sacrifice. The feudal system depended on this chain of command. Loyalty was both a weapon and a burden, shaping the samurai's fate. The spirit of chugi defined the samurai's place in history. Their legacy is a testament to the power and cost of absolute loyalty. For the samurai, honor, meiyo, was life's highest value, worth more than survival itself. A samurai's reputation was built over years, but could be lost in a moment of weakness. To live in shame was worse than death. Honor demanded constant vigilance. Duels were fought to defend one's name, with the willingness to risk everything more important than victory. When a samurai failed or brought shame, seppuku, ritual suicide, offered a way to restore honor. This act, though grim, was seen as the ultimate display of courage and integrity. The belief that death was preferable to dishonor gave the samurai a psychological edge in battle. They feared shame, not death, making them formidable opponents. The willingness to sacrifice everything for honor defined the samurai spirit. Their legacy endures as a symbol of living and dying by one's principles. The samurai's identity was inseparable from his weapons, especially the sword. The daisho, katana, and wakizashi was both a tool of war and a symbol of the samurai's soul. Swordsmiths crafted these blades with spiritual devotion, folding steel to create weapons of beauty and strength. The katana's sharpness and resilience became legendary, while the wakizashi served as a companion blade. Samurai also mastered the yumi, longbow, yari, spear, and naginata, adapting to the demands of battle. Their armor, yoroi, was a masterpiece, strong, flexible, and adorned with crests to inspire allies and intimidate foes. Helmets and masks added protection and a fearsome presence. Each piece of equipment was both practical and symbolic, reflecting status and artistry. The samurai's tools were extensions of their discipline and identity. Mastery of weapons and armor set the samurai apart as elite warriors. Their gear was a blend of function, tradition, and personal pride. The legacy of their craftsmanship endures in Japanese culture today. The samurai era ended with the Meiji Restoration. As Japan modernized and the warrior class was dissolved, many former samurai adapted, becoming leaders in business, politics, and the military. Though the class vanished, the spirit of Bushido, discipline, loyalty, and honor remained woven into Japanese culture. These values live on in martial arts, corporate life, and national identity. The samurai's legacy inspires not only Japan, but the world as a symbol of the noble warrior. Their stories are celebrated in art, film, and literature, embodying ideals that transcend time. The image of the lone samurai, steadfast against all odds, remains iconic. Their code teaches that true strength lies in discipline and self-sacrifice. The samurai's legend is a timeless reminder of a remarkable era. Their spirit endures, shaping the soul of a nation and inspiring generations. Japan's history was shaped by hundreds of years of fighting, where the clash of swords and the thunder of hooves echoed across the land. These were not just isolated skirmishes, but a long era of turmoil that would define the very soul of the nation. Different family groups known as clans fought fiercely over land and rice, the lifeblood of their power and survival. Rice was more than food, it was currency, status, and the foundation of wealth, making every harvest a potential spark for conflict. Out of this constant struggle, a special kind of warrior emerged, the samurai. Trained from childhood in the arts of war, they became the living embodiment of discipline, loyalty, and martial skill. Japan's rugged mountains and scattered islands kept communities apart, making each region fiercely independent. Every area wanted to prove its strength, and the natural barriers only fueled their desire to stand above the rest. In this world of endless rivalry, the samurai became the tools of power for ambitious leaders. Their loyalty and skill were the keys to gaining and holding territory. The outcome of battles often decided the fate of entire regions, and over time, the destiny of the whole country. The samurai's actions on the battlefield shaped the map of Japan itself. While the emperor remained a distant figurehead, true power shifted to local warlords, called daimyo. These daimyo commanded their own armies and ruled their lands like kings, often acting independently from the imperial court. This era of constant war touched every part of life. Villages were built with defense in mind, families moved to safer areas, and people learned to adapt quickly to survive. Even daily routines and beliefs were shaped by the need for protection and loyalty. Castles evolved from simple wooden fences to massive stone fortresses, designed to withstand sieges and symbolize the strength of their rulers. These castles became the heart of each region's power. Fighting styles and strategies grew more advanced, as samurai trained relentlessly in swordsmanship, archery, and tactics. Warfare became an art, and every battle was a test of skill and honor. The rise of the samurai created a strict social order, with warriors at the top and readiness for battle woven into everyday life. The code of Bushido, honor, loyalty, and courage, became the guiding light for all samurai. These battles were more than just fights for land, they forged the spirit of Japan. The deep respect for martial skill and a code of honor became central to Japanese identity, influencing art, culture, and values for centuries. The sacrifices of countless warriors, their victories and defeats, led to the unification of the country. Through conflict, Japan was shaped into a nation, its future forever marked by the legacy of the samurai. During the Heian period, the elegant aristocrats of Kyoto were deeply invested in the arts, poetry, and the subtle games of court politics. Their lives revolved around beauty, ceremony, and clever intrigue, with little concern for the practical matters of governing the countryside. While the capital thrived on culture, the rural provinces were often neglected. The central government paid little attention to the safety and well-being of people living far from the city, leaving villages and farmland vulnerable to bandits and unrest. To protect their lands and livelihoods, local landowners began hiring skilled fighters. These men, the first samurai, were not just bodyguards, they became defenders of entire regions, developing their own codes of honor and martial skill. Over time, these warriors gained influence and respect. Their loyalty and strength made them indispensable to the landowners, and their authority grew steadily. The imperial government, unable to control the provinces directly, came to rely on powerful samurai families to maintain order. This dependence allowed these families to amass wealth, land, and political clout, gradually shifting the balance of power. Eventually, two great clans, the Taira and the Minamoto, rose above the rest. Their rivalry erupted into the brutal Genpei War, a conflict that would decide the fate of the nation. The Minamoto clan's decisive victory at the Battle of Dan no Ura shattered the old order. The refined courtly rule of Kyoto was swept aside, and a new era of warrior dominance began. Minamoto no Yoritomo established the shogunate in Kamakura, effectively sidelining the emperor, who remained only as a ceremonial figurehead with little real power. With the title of shogun, Yoritomo became the true ruler of Japan. The samurai, once mere provincial guards, were now the official ruling class, shaping the destiny of the country. For the next 7 centuries, Japan would be governed by these warriors, whose origins lay in the forgotten corners of the countryside, but whose influence now reached every corner of the nation. The age of the samurai had begun, and from then on, it was the sword, not the pen, that ruled the land. When the Ashikaga shogunate fell apart, Japan was thrown into chaos. The old order crumbled, and the land was left without a strong central authority to keep the peace. This collapse set the stage for a new and violent era. Japan entered the Sengoku Jidai, the age of warring states. For over a century, rival warlords, or daimyo, battled for control, each seeking to carve out their own domain and become the ultimate ruler. Many daimyo fought to be the best, and big changes in society allowed even samurai from low families to become powerful through their great fighting skills. Ambition and talent could now outweigh birthright, and the battlefield became a place where legends were made and destinies changed. Fighting changed from one-on-one duels to large groups of foot soldiers, with spearmen called ashigaru making up most of the armies. These common soldiers, once considered unimportant, now played a crucial role in deciding the fate of battles and the future of Japan. New weapons like the arquebus, a type of gun, changed battles completely. Oda Nobunaga's use of muskets at Nagashino crushed the old-style cavalry. The thunder of gunfire echoed across the fields, signaling a new era in warfare and forcing even the proudest samurai to adapt or perish. Constant fighting got rid of weaker lords, clearing the way for Nobunaga, Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu to unite the country. Only the most cunning and resourceful leaders survived, shaping the destiny of the nation. The Big Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 ended the chaos, starting Tokugawa rule. This decisive clash determined the future of Japan, bringing an end to generations of bloodshed and uncertainty. The Sengoku era was very brutal, but from its fires, a united and peaceful Japan came out. The scars of war ran deep, but they paved the way for a new age of stability and growth. The samurai's world was changed forever by war and new ideas. Their legacy, forged in the crucible of battle, would shape Japanese culture and society for centuries to come. Castles, or shiro, became the biggest symbols of power in Japan, which was full of war. Early wooden forts became fancy stone forts like Himeji and Matsumoto. They were built to stop attacks with clever defenses. The winding paths, stone bases, and tall towers made them almost impossible to break into. Castles were more than just military strongholds. They were also places where things were managed and were the heart of a daimyo's land. Castle towns grew around them, where samurai, merchants, and craftspeople lived, becoming busy centers for trade and culture. Attacks where armies surrounded a castle, not direct fights, were common. Cutting off supplies was often how to win. To hold a castle meant to control the land, making these forts the main goal of every fight. The old castles of Japan are still reminders of the power and cleverness of that time. For the samurai, the sword was like their soul. They spent their whole lives trying to master it, starting when they were kids. Training was non-stop. Daily practice with wooden swords built strength and muscle memory, while sparring made their timing and plans better. Samurai also learned archery, how to use a spear, and fighting without weapons, making them skilled in many ways. Mental strength was just as important. Zen meditation helped them stay calm, focused, and achieve a state called mushin. Acting without thinking twice. Samurai were taught to accept death, which freed them from fear and allowed them to give everything in battle. Famous swordsmen like Miyamoto Musashi focused on strategy, rhythm, and being able to change. Swordsmanship became a spiritual path, mixing physical skill, clear thinking, and smart plans. The samurai's daily training made them warriors ready for anything. At the core of the samurai was Bushido, the way of the warrior, a set of unwritten rules that guided everything they did. Bushido demanded bravery, honesty, kindness, and most importantly, loyalty to their lord. The story of the 47 Ronin shows this perfectly. They got revenge for their master's death, knowing it meant their own. Honor was everything. Being shamed was worse than dying, and seppuku, a ritual suicide, brought back lost honor. Bushido also required kindness and fairness. Samurai were expected to protect the weak and keep order. In times of peace, they became educated gentlemen, using their power to help society. The two sides of the code, being ready to die and having a duty to protect, defined what the samurai believed was right. Bushido was tough, but it made the samurai more than just fighters. Their legacy is a mix of strong loyalty, honor, and kindness. Feudal Japan's strict social ladder put the shogun at the top, then the daimyo, samurai, and then the common people. The Shinokosho system made sure everyone had a strict role and couldn't easily move up in society. Farmers supported the samurai with their work. Loyalty, made strong by Bushido, connected the warrior class in a chain of faithfulness all the way up to the shogun. The Sankin Kotai system kept daimyo loyal by making them live in Edo and leave their families there as hostages. Fear was a way to control people. Samurai could punish disrespect, which made their authority stronger. Seeing two swords was a constant reminder of their power. This mix of order, loyalty, and fear created a stable society that lasted for hundreds of years. Peace was kept not by everyone agreeing, but by the disciplined strength of the samurai. The samurai are remembered as amazing warriors, but their job was more complicated. In war they fought for their lords, taking castles and changing history through battle. But samurai also acted as protectors, making sure laws were followed, keeping order, and defending those who couldn't defend themselves. Old stories celebrate them as guardians of the people, not just swordsmen. During the peaceful Tokugawa period, many became administrators, scholars, and teachers, running areas and working as government officials. The sword became a symbol of their rank while their roles as protectors and administrators grew. The perfect samurai was both a warrior and a scholar, showing both fighting strength and refined culture. This two-sided nature defined what they left behind. They were agents of war and keepers of peace. The samurai's story is one of opposites and lasting impact. The Meiji Restoration ended the samurai era, taking away their special rights and getting rid of their class. Many found it hard to adjust, but the spirit of Bushido, loyalty, discipline, and honor stayed strong in Japanese culture. These values helped Japan modernize quickly, shifting loyalty from local lords to the country itself. The samurai's influence lives on in martial arts, buildings, and popular culture around the world. Their stories inspire movies, books, and anime, making the samurai a symbol of discipline and heroism everywhere. The samurai were more than just warriors. They were administrators, poets, and thinkers. Their ideas of dedication, self-mastery, and honor still matter today. The shadow of the samurai still hangs over Japan, a timeless legacy of the warrior's world. For centuries, Japan was torn by war. Powerful daimyo fought for land, and samurai lived and died by their swords. Villages burned, but people dreamed of peace. The Sengoku Jidai was chaos, but hope for unity grew. The age of endless fighting was ending. A new chapter for Japan was about to begin. Out of all the confusion, 3 leaders came forward to shape Japan's future: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Nobunaga was a very smart and tough daimyo. He changed how wars were fought by giving his soldiers guns, beating his enemies, and breaking the old ways. After Nobunaga was betrayed and died, his general Hideyoshi, who came from a poor background, managed to unite most of Japan. He used talking and planning as much as fighting. Hideyoshi made sure that only samurai could carry weapons. This made their special status even stronger, but his dream of his family ruling died with him. Tokugawa Ieyasu, who was patient and clever, took his chance at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. He defeated his enemies and became the undisputed ruler of Japan. The wars that had gone on for over 100 years finally ended. Nobunaga broke the old system, Hideyoshi put the pieces together, and Ieyasu built a new system that would last for hundreds of years. Their biggest success wasn't winning wars, but bringing peace. They set up the beginning for a new time in Japanese history. The age of the samurai changed. The land was finally united. People could hope for stability. The samurai swords would now be used for peace. The great unifiers changed Japan forever. Their legacy was a country finally brought together. The dream of unity became real. The confusion of war gave way to order. The samurai's job would never be the same. The start of a new society was made. The time of peace had begun. The samurai's biggest battle was for peace itself. Japan was changed forever. In 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu became the shogun. He set up his government in Edo, which is modern Tokyo, and started the Tokugawa shogunate. For over 250 years, Japan had a time of peace and stability like never before. The shogunate made a very strict social order. The emperor was at the top, the shogun was the actual ruler, the daimyo were regional lords, and the samurai were the warrior administrators. Daimyo were controlled very strictly. They had to spend every other year in Edo and leave their families there as hostages. This system used up their money and stopped them from rebelling. Society was divided into 4 groups: samurai, farmers, artisans, and merchants. People were born into their group and were expected to stay there. The Tokugawa also closed Japan to most outside influences. They only allowed trade in Nagasaki, and only with the Dutch and Chinese. Japanese people were not allowed to leave the country, and Christianity was stopped. For over 2 centuries, Japan grew by itself. The samurai's job changed as the country became stable. The Great Peace changed every part of Japanese life. The strict order kept things stable. The samurai's place in society was safe, but their purpose was changing. The age of war was over. The shogunate's rules shaped Japan's future. The samurai would soon face a new challenge, living in a world without war. The Edo period was a time of big changes. The long peace of the Tokugawa era made the samurai change. With no wars to fight, they became administrators. They managed areas, collected taxes, and took care of public projects. Their swords were still symbols of their status, used more for fancy events than for fighting. Many samurai studied law, books, and accounting, becoming clerks and judges. This change was hard. Some struggled because they lost their identity as warriors. As the economy changed from using rice to using money, many samurai became poor, while merchants became rich. This caused tension within the social order. Despite these problems, the samurai became the main support of the Tokugawa government. Their loyalty and discipline now served the government, not the battlefield. They kept order and stability, changing their warrior spirit to administration. The samurai's sense of duty continued. They found new ways to serve. The warrior's discipline became the administrator's strength. The samurai's legacy was not just in war, but in building a peaceful society. Their change was very important for Japan's stability. The age of the sword gave way to the age of the pen. The samurai's new role defined the era. Even in peace, the samurai's identity was shaped by Bushido, the way of the warrior. This unwritten code focused on loyalty, courage, honor, and self-control. Loyalty to one's lord remained absolute, now shown through working hard. Honor was everything. To lose it was worse than dying. If a samurai's honor was damaged, seppuku, a ritual suicide, was the only way to get it back. Self-discipline and not showing pain were very important. A samurai went through hardships without complaining. Training changed from fighting skills to meditation and arts, seeking clear thinking. The real test of a samurai became internal, not on the battlefield. Bushido made the samurai different from other classes. It gave them purpose in a world without war. The code was their guide through changing times. The samurai's biggest battles were now inside themselves. Bushido kept the warrior spirit alive. Bushido was a living tradition, changing over hundreds of years as the samurai thought about their role in a peaceful society. Thinkers like Yamaga Soko said that samurai should be good examples for everyone. The Hagakure, a famous book, taught that a samurai should live as if they were already dead, without fear, ready for any challenge. Bushido guided daily life, telling them how to dress, speak, and act. Kindness, respect, and not spending too much money were expected. The true samurai didn't care about material things, focusing on honor and duty. Not everyone lived up to these ideals, but Bushido remained the standard. The katana, the soul of the samurai, showed honor and status. Swordsmanship became a way to master oneself, not just for fighting. The dojo was a place for spiritual and physical discipline. Kenjutsu became like moving meditation, training the mind, body, and spirit. The samurai's connection to the sword lasted, even in peace. Their code shaped who they were. Bushido's influence went beyond the battlefield. The samurai's soul was defined by more than war. Their legacy was a code of ethics for everyone. In Tokugawa Japan, the idea of bunbu ryodo, the pen and the sword, became important. A true samurai was expected to be good at both fighting and learning. With no battles, learning became a new frontier. Samurai studied Confucianism, taking on its ideas of loyalty and harmony. They became leading scholars, teachers, and people who explained Japanese culture. Many wrote poems, painted, and studied medicine, math, and astronomy. Some pursued Dutch learning, secretly studying Western science through the Dutch traders in Nagasaki. This focus on learning turned the samurai into a cultural elite. They became the nation's thinkers and artists, as well as its rulers. The discipline from the dojo was used for studying. The pen became as powerful as the sword. This skill in both areas kept their status in a changing world. The samurai's new ideal was a balance of culture and fighting. As samurai focused on duty and learning, a lively city culture grew in Edo and other cities. The floating world, or ukiyo, was where merchants and artists lived, full of fun and entertainment. Kabuki theaters, sumo wrestling arenas, and tea houses were popular. Samurai were supposed to stay away from this world, but many were attracted to its excitement. Ukiyo-e woodblock prints captured the energy of the time, showing actors, courtesans, and landscapes. The merchant class became rich, even lending money to samurai and daimyo. This change challenged the strict social order. The samurai had respect, but merchants had economic power. The difference between Bushido and the floating world showed big changes in society. The Edo period was a time of cultural growth and social tension. The samurai's world was changing. The rise of the townspeople signaled a new era. The foundations of the old order were quietly being shaken. The peace of the Tokugawa shogunate ended in the mid-1800s when American warships forced Japan to open its borders. The Meiji Restoration followed, getting rid of the shogunate and the samurai class. Samurai lost their special rights and swords, becoming regular citizens. Many adapted, becoming officers, teachers, or officials, helping to build modern Japan. The spirit of the samurai lived on, changed into national values. Bushido's ideals, loyalty, duty, honor, and self-sacrifice, became part of Japan's character. Loyalty shifted from a lord to the nation or a company. The samurai's discipline lived on in the Japanese work ethic. Their legacy was not just in battle but in shaping modern society. Today samurai are legends, symbols of honor and strength. Their true story is about changing and surviving. They learned to live in peace, trading swords for pens. The samurai's code became a guide for generations. Their greatest legacy is the lasting spirit of duty and honor. The soul of the samurai lives on in modern Japan. Their influence is seen in culture, values, and imagination. The samurai's journey was from war to wisdom. Their story is Japan's story, one of change and lasting spirit. The samurai story begins as the emperor's power faded and strong landowners called daimyo took control. They hired skilled fighters, the first samurai, to protect their lands. Loyalty to their lords became legendary. The word samurai comes from saburao, meaning to serve. Powerful clans, like Taira and Minamoto, fought for control. Minamoto no Yoritomo became shogun, founding the Kamakura shogunate. Japan entered its feudal age, ruled by the sword and the samurai. The samurai had become Japan's new ruling class. When the shogun rose to power, the samurai became Japan's rulers, sitting at the very top of a strict social ladder. Below them were farmers, artisans, and merchants, each with their own place in society. The samurai governed and protected, holding power for almost 700 years. Civil war broke out as daimyo fought for land and power, leading to a crazy time called the Sengoku period. Famous warlords like Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu fought to bring Japan together. In 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu succeeded. He started the Tokugawa shogunate and brought in the peaceful Edo period. To keep things calm, the shoguns closed Japan's borders, keeping the country away from outside influences. With peace, the samurai's job changed. They became managers and government workers, handling lands and collecting taxes. Their swords were still symbols of their high status, but their days were filled with papers, not battles. The long peace made the samurai wonder who they were. How could they stay warriors in a world without war? The samurai changed, but the question of their purpose stuck around. Their legacy was now about governing, not just fighting with a sword. The age of the shoguns changed the samurai from fighters to caretakers of society, but deep down, the warrior spirit lived on. A samurai's life was full of strict rules, special rights, and big responsibilities. From when they were kids, samurai sons trained very hard in fighting skills, reading, and good manners. Being great with a sword, bow, and spear was a must, and so was riding horses expertly. The daisho, the two swords, a long katana and a short wakizashi, showed their status and power. Their armor was both protection and a work of art, decorated with their family symbols. High-ranking samurai managed things and oversaw others. Lower-ranking samurai or ronin often struggled to get by. In peaceful times, many became teachers, artists, or even farmers, trying to keep their honor. Samurai were expected to be cultured. They practiced fancy writing, wrote poems, and studied Zen Buddhism. The tea ceremony taught them about balance, respect, and keeping things simple. The perfect samurai was both a warrior and an artist, deadly with a sword, but refined with a brush. Their daily life was a mix of duty, discipline, and culture. Even as times changed, the samurai tried to show both strength and elegance. Their world was about honor, skill, and always trying to be better. The samurai were more than just fighters. They were the living example of a special way of life. The samurai lived by Bushido, the way of the warrior, a set of rules that shaped every part of their lives. Being loyal to one's lord was everything, even more than family or oneself. Courage was key. A samurai had to face danger and death without fear. Honor was super important. A samurai's good name was their most valuable thing. Failing or bringing shame could lead to seppuku, a ritual suicide, to get their honor back. Other good qualities included being fair, kind, and respectful. Bushido wasn't just about fighting, it was about living with honesty and leading by good example. The code was taught from childhood and expected to be followed without question. While not all samurai lived up to these perfect ideas, Bushido left a lasting mark on Japanese culture. The samurai's moral rules became a model for how to lead and how to act personally. Bushido's influence went far beyond the battlefield. It was the soul of the samurai and the soul of Japan. For over 200 years, Japan stayed closed off, but in 1853, American warships, called Black Ships, arrived, demanding to trade. The shogunate faced a big problem: fight them and risk being destroyed, or open the country and look weak. Commodore Perry's arrival shocked Japan, showing how far behind they were in technology compared to the West. In 1854, Japan signed the Convention of Kanagawa, opening its ports to the US. Soon, other Western countries followed. The time of being isolated ended suddenly, and foreign influences poured in. Many samurai were furious, blaming the shogun for giving in to barbarians. The slogan, "Revere the Emperor, expel the barbarians," spread among those who wanted to bring back the emperor's rule. The shogunate's power fell apart as feelings against foreigners and for the emperor grew stronger. The arrival of the Black Ships started a chain reaction of trouble and change. Japan was at a crossroads, torn between old traditions and the demands of a new world. The samurai, once protectors of order, now became agents of chaos. The stage was set for the end of the old way of doing things. A new era was about to begin. Unhappiness with the shogunate exploded as the Satsuma and Choshu areas joined forces, armed with modern weapons. The shogunate tried to modernize, but it was too late. Japan was on the edge of a civil war. In 1867, Shogun Tokugawa Yoshinobu stepped down, giving power back to Emperor Meiji. The Meiji Restoration began, starting a revolution to make Japan modern. Ambitious young samurai led big changes. Make the country rich, make the army strong. Trips to the West brought back new ideas, technology, and ways of doing things. Railroads, factories, and a modern army changed the country super fast. The old feudal areas and class system were gotten rid of. All Japanese people became equal under the law. For the samurai, these changes threatened who they were and their special rights. Their world disappeared almost overnight, replaced by a modern central government. The samurai, once rulers, now faced an uncertain future. The Meiji era was a time of energy, big changes and making things new. Japan was reborn, but the samurai's place in it was fading fast. The Meiji changes hit the samurai class hard. In 1871, feudal areas were gotten rid of, daimyo lost power, and samurai lost their masters and their regular payments. A national army was created where anyone could join, ending the samurai's special right to be soldiers. Now, any man could become a soldier. Samurai skills were no longer special. In 1876, the Hitorei Edict banned samurai from wearing swords in public, taking away their last symbol of status. Their regular payments were replaced with bonds, leaving many samurai poor. The government couldn't support a warrior class that passed down its position in a modern country. Getting rid of the samurai was needed for progress, but for samurai, it was a time of loss and anger. Their identity, purpose, and honor were swept away in less than 10 years. The age of the samurai ended, not with a battle, but with a law. A 1,000-year way of life vanished almost overnight. The samurai became ordinary citizens, their era put into history books. The sword was put away for good. Many samurai, feeling betrayed by the new government, rose up in rebellion. The most famous was the Satsuma Rebellion of 1877, led by Saigo Takamori, a hero who helped with the Meiji Restoration. Disappointed, Saigo gathered thousands of samurai to fight the government. Armed with swords, they faced a modern army with rifles and cannons. The samurai fought bravely, but technology and sheer numbers overwhelmed them. After months of battle, Saigo's forces were trapped. He committed seppuku in the final fight. The rebellion failed, but Saigo became a legend, the last true samurai. The defeat marked the end of samurai resistance and the victory of modern ways. The warrior class was gone, but their spirit lived on, in memory. The last stand was both sad and a powerful symbol. The samurai's era ended, but their legend continues. Even though they were abolished, the samurai spirit still shapes modern Japan. Former samurai became leaders in government, business, and the military, using Bushido to build a new country. Loyalty, discipline, and never giving up, once samurai virtues, became the foundation of Japan's economic and social success. Working well as a group and being dedicated to doing things perfectly can be seen in company culture and craftsmanship. Martial arts like kendo and judo, which come from samurai traditions, teach discipline and respect. The tea ceremony, Zen gardens, and fancy writing reflect the samurai's cultural impact. The samurai are still popular in movies, comics, and art, symbols of honor and courage. Their influence lasts in the values and beauty of Japanese society. The warrior is gone, but his spirit lives on in everyday life. The legacy of the samurai continues to inspire Japan and the world.